which is why maybe Azumarill has increased in popularity again. The game is starting, and that is a lead for Maxy1000000P.
Maxy's very happy to see that. Talonflame likes to burn Jumpluff out of the sky, responding with a Feraligatr here, which is an advantageous matchup. So now Maxy swaps and goes, no, I'm not going to give you that advantage. I'm going to bring in this Lapras, which can handle all of the Hydro Cannons that AMindJoke will throw at it.
And we thought it was out of fashion a little bit, but this Lapras is actually on Skull Bash, which is huge in the Shadow Feraligatr or regular Feraligatr matchup, in fact, because it hits for neutral damage, it raises your defense, and of course you still have the Talonflame with 2 Incinerates worth of energy.
Yes, and so Maxy now has to consider how much more energy can I farm up here. Does actually go for the Sparkling Aria here. This is a bait attempt, expecting AMindJoke to shield. Does AMindJoke make that call? No shield, and he's not going to be happy with that outcome. And he's like, this is not what I wanted. Now Maxy might have to consider shielding here.
Yeah, but keep in mind, the Feraligatr is rather low. It doesn't have the same fast attack pressure. Oh, tries to go for the Sparkling Aria, needs one more turn for it there and gets knocked out. But this might be the biggest bubble down we've ever seen.
Yes, it will be very useful for Azumarill to have that energy, because there is a Jumpluff available on AMindJoke's side, and that Pokemon will struggle against the Ice Beams. Now it's a response here with the Lapras. Now, Lapras is an interesting matchup for Talonflame because the big threat comes for the Sparkling Aria, but that is water-type damage that comes from a charge attack, not a fast attack.
Yep, but there is energy advantage on the side of Maxy1000000P. Connected 1 Flame Charge, and now we have seen this time and time again from him. Actually 2 shielding the Talonflame versus the Lapras, boosting its Incinerates. After landing 1 Flame Charge, you can try to Incinerate down, go to so much energy, but he has the energy advantage, so why not throw the Fly? You're not getting outpaced.
Yes, you really are not. So Maxy is going to launch that Fly. A shield does come out from AMindJoke's side as he wants to get another Sparkling Aria off. Will he get there in time? It's the question. Both trainers are over farming a little bit. Sparkling Aria is now launched. A shield comes out from Maxy's side. Maxy is out of shields, but with a Talonflame with energy and a boost.
Yep, there is a lot of energy in there. The Feraligatr comes in, but there is no HP left. Talonflame is sitting on so much energy. It is attack boosted. AMindJoke does not really know what to do in this situation. There's also an almost full HP Azumarill in the back for Maxy1000000P. AMindJoke goes unshielded here.
Yes, he's hoping that Jumpluff can withstand 1 Fly, but it does a huge amount of damage.
And the Fly is going to be... Oh, this even knocks out the Incinerate down on the Shadow. Jumpluff knocks it out of the sky, and AMindJoke goes down again just after losing the winners finals, being behind in the losers finals as well.
Yes, it was so tricky for that. That Talonflame, in the end, just became too much of a threat. The issue is, even if AMindJoke was to shield that first Fly, the Incinerate would have gone through and done a good amount of chip damage, especially with Talonflame having its attack boosted. But the other thing is, there was another Fly pretty much ready to go. So that second Fly would have landed, and that would have knocked out the Jumpluff anyway. So at that point, I'm going to use a word that I only just learned recently. It's called Zugzwang, where you're in a really tricky... We're in a really tricky position. You can't get your way out of that, no matter what. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
I am educated, and hopefully many are too.
It's German, right?
I think so, yeah.
It's Zugzwang, yeah, where you're forced to make a move.
Yeah, you're forced to make a move, but regardless of what you do, you're going to get in a bad situation regardless. So I will learn from you. Whenever I have to say the word, you will say it for me, right?
All right, that definitely works. So, Maxy, this is how he has shown that he can punish Lapras save swap against his team. He is running the, I don't want to say unconventional charge attacks in Flame Charge and Fly, but it's surely not something that everyone is running, because you can 2-shield down a Lapras, and that has proven to be so strong. I don't know if it is specifically for a Shadow Lapras, but with a little bit of energy advantage, it's also worked against this Lapras. So Maxy1000000P is definitely prepared for this tournament.
Yes, and he does look, if you're looking at the behavior of both these trainers, Maxy seems pretty chill, pretty unfazed. This is quite significant because this is the furthest he's ever been, and yet he doesn't seem to be out of sorts. The confidence seems to be there, and AMindJoke seems calculated. He has his pen ready, he's ready to make notes about the battle and get an advantage here. Drapion coming in against the Diggersby here. This is going to be an interesting matchup because both trainers have the ability to score super effective damage upon each other.
Diggersby's definitely in the situation it wants to be if you're looking at the backline. Flame Charge, Incinerate, Talonflame punishes it really hard, and the Azumarill is also a big problem for Diggersby. Shadow Dropion is the Pokemon you wanted to be on. Now we're relatively late swap into the Feraligatr versus Azumarill.
And this is actually very nice for Maxy because he has lured out the hardest answer to his Talonflame in the back. And I think that was what Azumarill was brought in for, to lure that in. He's making that prediction that whatever's in the back is going to be difficult difficult, and in the sense that Talonflame will be able to deal with that very easily. AMindJoke, has he fallen for a trap here?
Huge play from AMindJoke here, by the way, is throwing the Hydro Cannon just now because Maxy can't do another bubble or he will go over 100% of his possible energy.
Yes, and that's a very good observation. Nonetheless, this play rough does a good amount of damage. Will he be able to get to another charge attack first? Yes, he is, and that is going to force a shield or force the AMindJoke to abandon his Feraligatr.
Can AMindJoke let this go and bring in the Lapras to farm down? He decides that he can't because the Azumarill is going to be dry here now as well. So AMindJoke can go for way more Shadow Claws, deal some damage, and actually leave with a full Hydro Cannon start unless Maxy decides to shield here.
No, he decides not to because this Feraligatr is so low. There is a possibility he could bring Talonflame in, and with one Incinerate might be able to knock out the Feraligatr. This first Hydro Cannon is going to go shielded, but is the Incinerate enough to knock out before Feraligatr gets another Hydro Cannon off? Let's see. Yes, it is!
That is a huge Incinerate down there. Lapras is going to come in one Incinerate behind the one shield scenario though, so you are pacing quite quickly here. Is Maximilian going to go for the play that he's throwing a Fly here, while AMindJoke is predicting a Flame Charge, then swaps out into the Shadow Dropion again?
Yeah, so let's see now what happens here. No, staying in this matchup. Here comes the Sparkling Aria. Is there going to be a shield here? Maxy has to consider Sparkling Aria would not knock out his range, but nonetheless, shield does come through. Now what does Maxy do?
Maxy is going to go for yet another Fly. I think that he has some moves stored on that Shadow Dropion. A Protect Shield is being put up by the Lapras. Is that the moment for a combo play here? Swaps in the Shadow Dropion. Does not have a Charge Attack stored.
And it's a Charge Attack priority event! Wow!
Wait, that is possibly really huge for Maximilian P. If this Scorching Sands gets close to knocking out, the switch timer is so far from being up. Can he get an Incinerate down on the Diggersby?
That is going to be a tricky one. However, Talonflame has one lovely advantage here. It walls off all of Diggersby's charge attacks, and so now it's a pressure for AMindJoke just to get as much off as possible in terms of fast attacks, and then see how many charge attacks he can throw. Here we see it, the first Scorching Sands coming in. Will there be a debuff though?
Wait a second, is AMindJoke actually in a position where he can possibly knock out the Talonflame just with his Diggersby? Can he go for two more, throw another Scorching Sands and deal a lot of damage? This is looking like a few quick attacks will knock out after this. All this energy on Maximilian P does not help him anymore if the Diggersby is just quick enough.
It's going to be so close, and he has thrown a charge attack here. Fly is going to knock out the Diggersby, but it leaves Talonflame so low on energy that now Lapras can come back in and wipe out the Talonflame with a Sparkling Aria.
The win condition for Maximilian P in that scenario was basically to hope for a combo play from AMindJoke, swapping in the Lapras there and getting knocked out from that Fly, because the Diggersby was so strong with his quick attacks. I don't even know if it would have not knocked out.
Yes, I mean, it was the only win condition Maxy could have played for, and unfortunately he did not take it because he did go for the Fly while Diggersby was on 1 HP or close to that. So it was a tricky one. I know I said that Diggersby's matchup against Talonflame gives a huge advantage to the Talonflame, but nonetheless, we also have to not just consider typings, but also bulk. Diggersby's quick attack on Talonflame does do a good amount of chip.
And of course, he can't just go into that matchup and throw the charged attacks like he wants to. He has to preserve energy for that Lapras in the back. Was one Psywave away from a Sparkling Aria, which is going to knock out from that range on the Talonflame. But also, if quick attacks get to knock you out, then you're in a pickle as well, because if two Pokemon knock you out and you only have one charge attack, problem.
Yes, definitely. Bear in mind, though, for those of you watching at home or in the stands, this is a losers finals, which means this is a best of 5 in this scenario. Normally, you have best of 3s going up into this tournament. However, as we get right to the very end, these trainers, because they are so close in their skill levels, they have worked so hard to get to this stage that best of 5s are needed to really determine which of these two trainers can be that slightly better on the day.
it just gives the players more information overall, right? If you're playing a best of 3, it is so easy to play a line that is rather sacky against your opponent, that just tries to throw them off, and this is maybe a little bit risky. In a best of 5, it is way easier to bring such a thing because there is less consequences if you lose.
Yes, there is. That's absolutely right. So you can feel the behavior of your opponent, take a bit more time to sense what's going on, and we have seen many reverse sweeps, but here it's one apiece. There are 2 wins needed by both sides, and it seems to be a bit of an advantage for AMindJoke. Malamar, the dark type, going up against the ground and psychic type Claydol.
Undebuffed foul play does about 50% here. Of course, Psywaves do add up just a little bit because they are actually resisted. Immediate shield put up by Maxy1000000P because he does want to stay in this matchup, wants to throw a Rock Tomb soon to debuff the second foul play.
Yes, and this is the sensible play. I like this idea. Rock Tomb means foul plays less of a threat. Claydol is now able to tank those foul plays a little bit more easily. The question is, when does AMindJoke choose to maybe switch out or maybe preserve that Malamar, or does he decide to let it go after it has weakened this Claydol sufficiently?
I think that actually Maxy1000000P might be forced to throw a charge attack here, or else AMindJoke gets to another foul play, which is so big. It does, I think it barely does not knock out. So we're going to see a Rock Tomb thrown from the Claydol into the next Pokemon as well. But this is a decent amount of farm down.
Yes, it really is. So I think Shadow Claw will be will require just one Shadow Claw to take out the Claydol, is my guess. Going for the Lapras here instead to get a bit more farm, which I like this idea. The downside is you do have to tank a super effective Rock Tomb and be debuffed here. So let's see how much damage this does. Taking around 60%, and here comes Maxy's Lapras here.
Maxy knows that his own Lapras is very, very safe, so brings it in there. The Feraligatr is always an answer here to that Lapras, but now, as it doesn't have an energy advantage, the Lapras of Maxy1000000P can threaten with a Skull Bash, puts up a Protect Shield against a non-super effective Hydro Cannon because he wants to go for a Skull Bash here and raise the defenses.
Yes, because once these defenses are up, especially with Hydro Cannon being a resisted attack from a non-Shadow Feraligatr, these Hydro Cannons are not going to be as concerning going forward. Nonetheless, quantity might top quality here. You might be able to resist all these Hydro Cannons, but if enough of them come, you're going to be washed away regardless.
Maxy puts his last shield on that Lapras, knowing that it is a huge win condition for here. There are so many Hydro Cannons, and AMindJoke throwing yet another one. The Feraligatr is still very well in the green HP. Another Hydro Cannon might take out the Lapras. One more shield left remaining for AMindJoke as well. And I think at this position, oh, that's even a Sparkling Aria bait here. I think in this position you might want to shield this here to preserve some HP on that Feraligatr.
And indeed, AMindJoke does fall for that bait. Here comes another Sparkling Aria. This is going to significantly weaken the Feraligatr, but I don't think it's enough to knock out.
No, but AMindJoke swaps immediately into his own Lapras, which is also only at half HP here. Gets the full farm down on that Lapras of Maxy1000000P, who brings in the Azumarill. And Azumarill is always threatening at this point with play roughs.
Yes, but the thing is here that I don't actually mind the fact that AMindJoke got a lot of farm, because if you're Maxy, that extra energy is only going to go towards a Sparkling Aria or an Ice Beam, both of which Azumarill more than happily tanks. Second Sparkling Aria coming in here to hit on the Azumarill, but again, I don't think this will even take Azumarill into the yellow. It doesn't.
Nope, and the Psywaves that Maxy1000000 actually used their swaps in the Claydol, expecting a possible charge attack to try and catch it. It actually brought it into play rough range here, so very huge damage from those Psywaves of the Lapras. Azumarill is standing strong against Lapras, knocks it out, and what is a Feraligatr gonna do here?
Yes, Feraligatr is able to get to that Hydro Cannon. However, at least 2 will be needed, and AMindJoke just doesn't have enough in the tank to keep Feraligatr healthy enough for it to launch those 2 Hydro Cannons. Maxy makes it 2-1, which means one more win, and Maxy is into the grand finals.
AMindJoke has been on the back foot already in this matchup. Even against Nickname, he clawed his way back for a game when he was playing a very, very tough matchup. So, Maxy is in the lead, yes, but it doesn't mean that AMindJoke is out of this game, because he has shown strength, mental strength here to combat his friend and rival in this situation.
Yes, indeed. AMindJoke is one of those players that he has all the experience. Bear in mind that I think AMindJoke has been in this situation a few more times. When I say situation, I mean to get as far as the losers finals. He's been in here a bit more frequently than Maxy has, and that extra experience might prove advantageous in performing what we call a reverse sweep, where coming from a losing position to get 2 wins back to back and therefore win the overall best of 5. But it is close. It is, as far as Maxy is concerned, so-called match point. 1 more win is all it will take for Maxy to punch his way into the grand finals. For AMindJoke, 2 wins away, a bit more of a mountain, but I believe AMindJoke does have the talent to do it.
And I know who Nickname is rooting for right now, because he has told AMindJoke before that he wants him to win, because the matchup looks significantly better for him. Maximilian P with a rather more difficult team composition that could be a big upset in the grand finals. AMindJoke versus Maximilian P.
Both trainers are considering, deliberating, deciding on what Pokemon to go for. They've acknowledged each other. Both trainers locking in now. This might be a match for the ages. Trainers, get your eyes glued to the screens as we go into the next battle. Lapras facing off against Talonflame.
Oh, and Maxy has played this matchup before. Flame Charge and Double Shield is the way for him. Brings in the Lapras after getting 2 Incinerates off, so energy advantage on the Talonflame against whatever might be in the back. And AMindJoke, he is throwing Sparkling Aria here. I was thinking that he might go out into his Feraligatr, keeping a Sparkling Aria onto his Lapras, but no, he actually... Oh, that's Acrobatics range, though.
Correct. That is exactly why that AMindJoke did that. You want to weaken and use a long-term combination play. You want to weaken the Lapras of Maxy, safe in the knowledge that Ice Beam is not a threat here. Remember, both trainers are aware of each other's movesets. Acrobatics now is in a position to either knock out or bring Lapras so close into the red.
Oh, the thing is, the defenses are boosted up here. This is not even farm down range. We're already at another charge attack on the side of Lapras. Was that a miscalculation on the side of AMindJoke? There's so much energy. Another Skull Bash is being thrown instead of just the Sparkling Aria.
Yes, and Skull Bash is more than enough to knock out. Does raise the defenses even more from the Lapras, and now AMindJoke's able to bring his own Lapras back in and get a good amount of farm here. But now responding with the Malamar and the threat of a superpower.
That is so well played from Maxy, just getting switch here with a little bit of energy disadvantage, but having the Malamar on that Lapras here. And Maximilian P goes for multiple side waves here. I think that at some point, oh, we're going to even go for a foul play here.
Yes, I think this is sensible. You want to start teasing away shields from this Feraligatr so that Talonflame can have a better chance in the endgame matchup. So now makes a catch here. Is this a sensible catch? I don't think it is, though. Hydro Cannon means a shield has to go through.
You have to shield Hydro Cannons at any point. The good thing about this catch was he got a full Incinerate through. So basically, Maxy cheated out 4 free turns for himself. That was genius.
And this is an unusual scenario. Normally, you make a catch in order to take resisted damage on your opponent from your Pokemon. Now, he's actually using it to earn extra energy. Another Hydro Cannon coming through. No shield this time.
Oh, this would have been enough for a charge attack onto that Lapras. Malamar is staying in here, knowing that there is little HP on the opposing side. They're about pacing to the same. Is Maxy a double superpower here?
That is a key thing. If Maxy is able to get 2 superpowers off, this will be huge for him. The first one is shielded. Is there a second one? There is! Superpower is being launched, and this is going to absolutely annihilate the Lapras.
AMindJoke puts his phone down. The superpower from Malamar comes in, and it farms down the Feraligatr. Maximilian P advances to the grand finals.
I am lost for words watching that battle. Maxy and AMindJoke exchanging friendship, demonstrating how close their bond is. The respect that AMindJoke has for Maxy and his victory was incredible. Wow, what a match.